What is up, my fellow citizens? It's Gio here, and today I would like to talk about the Anvil, rock you like a hurricane. Now, this is one of my favorite looking dogfighting ships right now. I really like that they stepped out of the comfort zone. Like, you look at something like an Aegis Dynamics, it looks like one of the typical jets that we would actually, fly today. And this ship does not look like that. I mean, even with some of the, the Hornets, some of those look like those could be jets, typical, design and shape. Not the Hurricane. And I'm really loving that about this ship. It's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorite looking ships. Now, I will say this. It does look like the F8 Lightning. If you guys haven't seen it, it was a concept that was supposed to be in Squadron 42, and they weren't supposed to sell it. And then they were thinking about selling it, which I wish they would have, because that is ultimately my favorite ship right there. I mean, that thing looks insane. I mean, just looks armored out, dangerous, looks like it kick some serious ass. I really want that ship. So hopefully they sell it, but this is, right next to it. This is like a downgraded, less armored version of the F8 Lightning, if you ask me. I think the F8 Lightning is a one-seater, though. I'm not too sure, but I believe it was a one-seater. Now, with this ship, what I'm really kind of worried about is, in one of the statements from one of the pilots from the lore, they said, it's a good ship, but make sure you have a gunner. Now, is it a good enough ship that's gonna, hold up against the Super Hornet? I would like to see that. I know it's a little older ship. We look at the lore. It fought the Tavaran Wars. Up until now, they even still use it in some sectors of the UEE, which is cool and shows that this ship still has value, to the point where I think the F8 probably got designed from this ship. That's how much the UEE liked it and told Anvil, hey, we like the Hurricane and we want an updated version of that. I think that's maybe where the F8 probably came from. I'm not too sure with my lore. I don't know if it's in there, but I'm thinking that's how it probably started. But I will say this about Anvil. Most of their ships do look different, even though each ship manufacturer has a guide that they go by. There may be like a component or a certain look, a certain style. It seems like Anvil has its own lane, if you ask me. Like, I know usually they go with the blocked type shapes with their ships, but you look at, the Terrapin, and then you look at the Hurricane, two different, ships. I mean, they don't look nothing alike. Or if you look at, even the Crucible, completely different, ship lineup. The only ships that really look kind of alike are, I would say, the Gladiator and, the Hornet. But even those, you could look at them and it still has a different look. Or the Hurricane took the cockpit entrance from the Gladiator, or maybe it's the other way around. I think the Hurricane came before the Gladiator. Well, whatever. Which one came first, which I do love the way you get in the Hurricane and the Gladiator. It's probably one of my favorite entrances in a ship right now. It's so cool, even though I don't know if it's going to work ejecting and, getting out in battle, but it looks so freaking cool how the gunner and the pilot gets in. It's just awesome. But they all still look different while, maintaining the blockiness type shapes that go with the Anvil, the manufacturing. So that I do give Anvil credit for. That's why I'm thinking they're probably my second favorite manufacturer after Aegis. I would have to sit down and look at all the ships one by one, but this right here, the Hurricane, is definitely my favorite fighter. Now, one thing I am kind of, curious on is, where does it fit in with the heavy fighters? Because we know we got the Vanguard, that's the super heavy fighter. Then you got the Super Hornet, and then, this comes in. And I'm curious because it's going to be a glass cannon. There's no armor. It's stripped down. Like I said earlier, this is like the F8 no armor edition. So I'm thinking the maneuverability, I would love to have the maneuverability of my Saber, but then I could have the firepower of a Super Hornet and a Vanguard on this ship. But like I said, you have no armor, so that's going to be its weakness. All it takes is, a Super Hornet or a Vanguard to, lock on you, and you're trying to hit this thing, and you're missing your shots, and these things can take a beating, and you're going to get wrecked. from what it's sounding like. And they even got a warning tab on here that says, you know, this ship is for, you know, seasoned pilots, veteran pilots. If you're buying this, make sure you know what you're doing with this ship. So I'm gonna have to get on my X-55s and hook those up and make sure I map all the buttons out, everything right, and learn how to fly this ship right, because I want this to be, you know, my dogfighting ship. I do want to see how the turret works. Hopefully it works good like on the Super Hornet, because pilots were acting like if it doesn't have a gunner, it would be kind of useless, and I'm hoping it enhances you know, how awesome this ship is. That's what I'm hoping for. But I really need that maneuverability and that gun firepower on there. Because that's what type of pilot I am. I like my maneuverability and I like my guns. Right now I'm using the Saber. That's one of my favorite ships to fly with and dogfight with. I just cannot deal with the drag from the Super Hornet and the Vanguard, even though I know why it's there, because these are big, heavy fighters. Heavy fat ass armor weighing them down, but I just really want that maneuverability. I would trade my armor in to have that maneuverability and firepower, because I'm one of those aware guys to see them where they're shooting at me and all that type of stuff. So I cannot wait to see how this ship turns out. So who got one? Are you getting one? Do you like it? You don't like it? Me, as you guys know, I love it. You guys know I picked one up. I had to, but that's all for today. You guys have a blessed day. And one more thing, Star Citizen for life.